when we talk about mutual information, we are talking about entropy first of all. So if we have some sort of stochastic event that has some probability, say x, and it has p of x are the probabilities, when we can talk about the information gained from observing this variable. So we say that if we saw an event with probability px, then we gain information of 1 over p. So if we have a coin, a fair coin with probability of 0.5 to heads or thinking, or tails, then by flipping it once and looking at the outcome, we can say that we've gained 1 bit of information from actually observing the outcome of that trial. And information can be, like, as you can see, this is probability, so it's a unitless measure, but based on the base of the logarithm, we can either say that it's either bits or nuts. So bits is when you have base 10, and nuts is when you have natural logarithm. And when we talk about entropy of some variable, we are looking at the.
Ivan,
yeah?
can you change the marker?
Oh, is this one? Yeah.
Okay.
So the entropy of a random variable would be a expectation that we take over the information gain. So on average, how much information can we get from observing this random variable? And this is a measure of how random it is, because if we have a coin that comes up heads 99% of the time, we won't really have much information about it on average. We'll mostly see it coming up as heads or whatever the biased outcome is. And mutual information takes it slightly further, and it gives us an understanding of how two random variables are interlinked with each other. So one measure is kind of correlation that you can use, but it's more of a sort of first moment measure. But if you look at mutual information between two random variables, it captures all of the dependence, and it's a very general. So a mutual information between two variables, x and y, would be defined as the entropy that you have in one variable minus the conditional entropy of a given variable. So what this intuitively is saying that if we see y and it actually gives us a lot of information about x, then this term will be very small. So there will be very little stochasticity in x if we already see y, that we have a lot of mutual information between the two variables. And if we see y and it tells us absolutely nothing about x, then this will just be entropy of x. And then mutual information between the two variables would be 0. There's a very good visualization of how this works over here. So if you have some sort of stochasticity in two random variables, then there's some stochasticity in one of them, some stochasticity in the other one. And the mutual information will be the stochasticity that they share between them. And so mutual information is the tool that Tishby is using in order to see what's happening inside neural networks. This is also, it has some nice properties. So first of all, it varies through invertible reparameterizations. So that means that if you have an invertible function and you apply it to either one of the random variables, it won't change the information that they have. So if you do like an affine transformation, something like that. And also the second one is the data processing inequality, and this is basically saying that you can't create new information. That if you have a market chain from X, Y, and Z, there will be more information from X and Y than from X and Z. This then applies to neural networks because we can look at the neural network as a market chain with the visualization here. So we kind of consider every layer of the network as a individual random variable, and everything that happened before it is just an encoder for that layer, and everything that happens after it is just the decoder for the outputs. And we do so iteratively for every single layer. And these are our market chains, so it goes from X into all of these. And what Tishby is saying is basically that we can apply the information bottleneck principle to neural networks and see how efficient are those representations, what are they actually capturing in terms of information that they have. And he says that information bottleneck is basically an approximation of a minimal sufficient statistic. So a minimal sufficient statistic would not take away any of the information. You can apply that to your function x, and it will still have the same information about y as it did before. And the information bottleneck just gives us a tool that we can use to make an approximation and see how efficient that is. And we do that by using this Lagrangian, by minimizing that. So this is the information that we have between the data and the original signal and the representation, and then we take away the information that that representation holds with the output. And so basically we want to, for this to be smaller or for this to be larger. And we can manage this trade-off by using the Lagrange multiplier.
So the Lagrange multiplier would then be a property of your architecture, or because as it learns, it essentially finds this multiplier, right?
Yeah, but they actually have an iterative mechanism of how you can apply that. And I think the information curve is strictly concave. So I think it's kind of defined by what your data looks like, so how much information your data set has like on the input and on the output.
Excuse me.
Yes.
That's a question. The Lagrange multiplier method usually has a constraint to solve the equation. I'm not sure if I understood it honestly, but
yeah, so information bottleneck is basically an optimization problem. How can we find such a bottleneck that minimizes these two terms? And
but there are no constraints on the optimization.
well, constraints are applied through the multipliers. We constrain the.
Okay, sorry, just go on. I'm not sure I think I couldn't find it.
But you know that